Hey there, Glipple here, presenting part 4 of our 111 networking co-op tutorial. In the last video, we were able to have a client host a game, which generated an online session on the server. Next, we want a guest to be able to join a hosted game by entering a password. That's what we're going to work on in this video. So similar to how we requested to host a game, we will also be using the client request network message to join a game, but the command will look more like this: connect, join, password. We can go ahead and set this up on the join game field now. So we'll throw in a once branch, and we'll turn off the main interface. And turn on the enter password interface. The whole point of this interface is just to clear the screen so you can see what you're typing. So then we'll add a local variable called input password. And add an input box event using the local variable. Then we'll send the client request. Now, since we're using a variable as part of the command, we'll have to use a text combine. For text 1, type connect join with a space at the end, because remember, that's the delimiter and how it separates the command, and text 2 will be the input password local variable. Now this isn't going to do anything right now because we haven't scripted the client request network message to recognize this command and do something with it. So let's go back to the client request, jump into the connect subscript, and here's where the script fires off when the command equals connect join. So for this command, what's happening here is a client is telling the server they want to join a game with a specific password. So on this part of the script, we need to look through the online sessions collection and see if we can find a session with that matching password. To do that, we'll need to use a collection loop. We can create a local variable and call it session loop entry. And we'll be looking through the online sessions collection. In this collection loop, we're going to use a comparison branch to see if any of the entries in the collection contains the password the client sent. So the expression will be session loop entry, operator will be contains, and the value will be the third part of the command. If it does end up finding a matching password, we want to edit the entry in the online sessions collection to include the guest client ID at the end of it. So we'll use the edit element of collection event. Collection is online sessions, and for the entry number, we'll have to find the entry number by using the find in collection use value and search with the value of session loop entry. The new value is going to be a text combine of the current value of session loop entry, then another text combine of the pound symbol and the network message client ID. If it doesn't find a matching password in the collection, then we'll need to provide feedback to the client. So let's create a network message called send wrong password message. No parameters are needed for this. Just a message box stating no online sessions were found with that password. Turn off the main interface and send them back to the connect interface. We'll also need a couple more network messages to trigger the game to start for both the host and guest. So let's make those now. We'll call one connect guest to host. No parameters. In the script, we're going to turn off the main interface set hosting switch to off, position the guest and the host, and use the force focus on actor event to focus the camera on the guest. Then we'll copy and paste this and call this one connect host to guest. Then we'll change the script to turn hosting on and force focus on the host. Let's go back to client requests, connect, and back to the collection loop. Now if the loop fails to find a matching password, we want it to send that wrong password message, so let's use another comparison branch and check to see if the current entry we're looking at in the collection is the last one. If it is, we'll send the send wrong password message and send it to the network message client ID. And if it does find a matching password, after it edits the element, let's use the connect guest to host network message. The client ID will be the network message client ID because the guest is the one who sent the request to the server, and we'll also use the connect host to guest network message. For this client ID, we'll have to dissect the collection element we're looking at. So we'll be pulling an element from a collection and use the split into collection use value again. The text will be the session loop entry and the delimiter is the pound symbol. We're looking for entry number 2 since that's the part of the element we're storing the host client ID. Now we just need to go into the testing options and set launch instances for network games to 3, since now we will need 1 server and 2 clients to test with. And when we test it, we can host a game to generate a password. And then when we click join game, we can enter that password on the other client, and we can see that both clients joined a game. Now the movement is not synced between the sessions yet, but there is now an online session established between those 2 clients, and we can work on syncing the movement in the next video. So like the video if you're feeling generous, and subscribe if you want to see more of these 111 tutorials. See you in the next one.